the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 8. This is the wide version in case you get the naming kind of confused. You got the Ultra, which is not as wide as this one. I really like this device, spoiler alert. And the reason why is because of this form factor. I think this is perfect for a foldable device. It just makes it so portable in hand and it's just really nice to use. It's been a joy to use. I haven't been this excited about foldable device in a very long time because they've all just come to this point where they give you all the performances, they give you all the display quality, the camera quality, etc, etc, etc. But the form factor means a lot to me in terms of my day-to-day use, or if I'm going to put this down after a week of review or a month of review or whatever and go back to my regular devices. But yes, this is a really good, cool device. And one of the things that's interesting for me is the fact that when I take this outside and I show it to people, first, everyone's always asking, is that the new Samsung phone? Which means Samsung's doing something right. And I think they haven't had that in a long time, in my opinion. And secondly, it splits opinions because some people go, this is really nice. Some people look at it and go, well, this is too wide for my hand, so I don't get it. I want the slimmer version. So then I push them towards the Ultra version. But this one is a lot more interesting for me. And I'm so happy they've put two camera lenses on this, wide and ultra wide. Because if they've gone the Apple way with the iPhone Air, with that single lens design, I probably wouldn't use this long enough. I would have gone back to my normal Z Fold 7 or something, just to get that camera experience again. Anyway, I feel like I've blabbed on with the intro here, but the point is I really like this device. But let's get into it because it doesn't mean this is perfect. It doesn't come with, it doesn't go without some shortcomings that we're going to talk about with this form factor. First thing first, some of the specs, just to reiterate some of the specs. I know it's online. I know some of you know it already, but just to summarize, feel free to skip just this specification bit and I would get into some of my experiences with the Z Fold 8 so far. So as you know, we have two displays. So the cover display is there, and also when you open it up, you get the display on the inside as well. This display on the inside is 7.6-inch QXGA Plus display. It's dynamic AMOLED 2X, 1848 by 2448, 403 ppi, and 120 Hz adaptive refresh rate. So we go from 1 to 120 Hz, which is good. And then this cover display, which is new to the game. So let me just unlock this very quickly. This wide display here is 5.5-inch WUXGA Plus display, dynamic AMOLED 2X as well, so 1248 by 1972, 428 ppi, 120 Hz refresh is available as well, which will go from 1 to 120 Hz, so adaptive refresh. This is IP48 rated, so it's not the best out there when you compare it to the likes of the Honor Magic V6, for example, which has all singing and dancing water and dust resistant rating, but 48 is still good enough. This is 201 grams, which is not bad at all. But as far as design goes, I think I really like this form factor, if I haven't mentioned that strongly enough. One of the things I would change about this is the corners. They're quite sharp, so when you hold it for a long period of time, you will feel that dig into your palm. So it would be nice if this was slightly curved a bit more, just to make it a bit more comfortable when you're holding this in hand. In terms of durability as well, yes, they've used good glass and stuff like that in terms of the front glass, but so far I've got micro scratch on there just having this in my pocket with no casing on it. So if you're going to do this, get yourself a screen protector and get a case on this as well to protect the device so it looks nice and clean for a longer period of time. In terms of the camera, we have a camera there for the selfie camera, which is 10 megapixel camera f2.2, and field of view is 85 degrees. And also another one on the inside, which is also 10 megapixel, and that is f2.2 as well, but bigger field of view. We're talking 100 degrees field of view, which is fantastic. Speaking of the display, it's just really bright and sharp, just typical Samsung format. It's really good. One of the things I really like is being able to also fold it this way in portrait mode, and you can still use the device as it is. You get more screen real estate. Next, let's talk about the processor. So this is rocking Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 mobile platform for Galaxy. For Galaxy, meaning they've kind of overclocked it just a little bit. They've tweaked it a little bit so that this functions the way Samsung wants this to function when it reaches your hands. And this is available with 16 gigabytes of memory with up to 1 terabyte of internal storage. You can also get this in 12 gigabytes with either 256 gigabytes of internal storage or 512 gigabytes of internal storage. For the battery, it is a silicon carbon battery and it's 4,800 milliamp hour battery. So dual battery in there, one on either side. So you can imagine how that works. Just saying that. You've got wireless charging, it's available, fast wireless charging at 20 watts. And also wired charging at 45 watts. So not the fastest on both fronts, but it's still fast enough to get you up and running very quickly. We're talking up to 63% in around 30 minutes, which isn't too bad using that 45 watt adapter and a 3-amp USB-C cable. Wireless power share is also there as well. So if you have other devices that you want to charge using this, you can place it on the back and this will wirelessly charge those devices as well. Elsewhere, we have speaker grill there, got your SIM card trays there as well. And then on the bottom, USB-C ports, nice and slim, and also another speaker grill is there as well, and the microphones all around it. And that just keeps things up and running smoothly for you. On the other side, you got your volume rocker, power buttons there as well, which also doubles up as your fingerprint reader, which again, with that form factor, it makes it very easy to just reach for it using your thumb. Okay, so that's all the specs out of the way. So I apologize. You just have to put that in the video so that people can just refresh their mind and not have to open another document to see those. But let's talk about experiences though with this so far. So starting with durability, I think so far so good in terms of durability without any case. The only issue I've got so far is not having a screen protector on it, which I should have. But what you find is I've got a tiny micro scratch just about there. I'll try and get that on camera a bit closer so you guys can see that as well. But that's the only qualms with the durability so far. But apart from that, so far so good. IP48 doing its job as well. And it's just really nice and lightweight as well. So it's just really nice and portable to hold. And anything, like I said, it's just the corners. I wish they were a bit more curved. So it's a bit comfortable when you're holding it in hand. For the display, it's nice. It's just brilliant. The display is really sharp, colorful. You know, contrast level is good as well. There's no issues at all, whether you open it on the inside or the outside. It's nice and bright. You can read your books on this. You can watch movies. You can do all kind of different things, whatever you want. You can do exactly just that. In terms of this crease, we always talk about this with foldable. Yes, it's there, but it's barely visible, as you can see there. You have to like shimmer it against lights there so you can see it. And if you run your finger over it, it's not much of a ridge as well, which is good. Another thing is you're able to fold this in that format, so you can have it like that as well. Although the flex is not as rigid in a way that allows you to place it in exactly whatever position you want it to be in, like we have with the Z Fold 7 or the Z Fold 8 Ultra now, which is a bit of a shame. Speaking of this as well, I don't think that's missing on here in terms of software is Flex window feature, which means when you go on YouTube, for example, you're not able to have the bottom screen showing you something different, and then, sorry, the top screen showing you the video, and then the bottom screen show you, you know, features that you can use like scrolling and all that kind of stuff. You don't get that on here. You get that on the old Z Fold 7, for example, and I believe you still get that on the Z Fold 8 Ultra, which I don't have personally to test that, but I think you have that. But besides that, well, that's something to bear in mind, basically. I love the way that you can use this in portrait mode like so you don't have to have it ultra wide like this all the time. You can have it this format as well, and it gives you just a longer screen real estate, almost like you've got a 2-in-1 device in terms of Z Fold 8 and Z Fold 8 Ultra all in one with you, because it's near enough just about the same in terms of size. And what this also allows you to do is when you're watching movies, you're able to rotate it in different ways that the hole punch camera there doesn't intrude in the video you're watching. Yes, you get that letterboxing. So if I was to play, let me find a video to play on here. Let's watch Mr. Rory Reid. I'm just going to reduce the volume on that. So you got the video there. If you go widescreen, you got the top and bottom letterbox in there. But what you see is that hole punch camera there is not intruding in your video experience. When you position it this way as well, it's the same thing. You can see the hole punch camera is there, so it doesn't get in the way of the video that you're watching. Of course, you can zoom out like so, which you then notice it. But if you're just watching it in just a normal letterbox way, in the original format on YouTube, for example, that it's not going to come in the way of the video that you're watching, which is really good. Talking about the screen real estate as well, it allows you to then open multiple applications all at the same time. And thanks to that Snapdragon 8 Gen 5 processor that's in there, you can handle all that stuff with no issues at all. So you can have Chrome on one side there, for example. And then if you scroll up slightly there, I can have messaging, for example. I can have it at the bottom if I want to. You can also tap this area to swap them around. And you can also tap that again to swap them in terms of side by side if you wish to do so. And then if you scroll up again, you can have one more app on here. So I can go YouTube, for example. Let me do that again. Press on old YouTube. I can have that on that side. So now YouTube's there. Maybe my messaging's there. Maybe web browsing is there as well. So all these 3 apps at the same time. And then you can open another app if you want as a floating window if you want to do that. I believe you can do that on this. Don't quote me on that bit. But at least you can open 3 apps at the same time on the Z Fold 8 screen, which is fantastic. And the switch between that and going back onto your main screen it's just so seamless. You don't have to worry about anything. It just, nearly dropped it there. But yeah, it just works seamlessly, which is absolutely fantastic. Another thing worth mentioning is one of the shortcomings of having a foldable device is the fact that they've placed the speakers on one side of the screen, which means then when you open it like so, both of your speakers are on one side of the device. So when you hold it, it doesn't quite give you that stereo speaker experience where you have it on either sides, for example. Although if you have it in portrait mode like that, then you might have it on either side, but it's still top orientation rather than center, if that makes sense. So that's something else to bear in mind in terms of this widescreen orientation that we've got going on. One thing to also mention, this is so random as well, is if you own a car like a Tesla, the coil, the placement on there means that when you place it on the wireless charging plate in the car, it doesn't work. So that's another pain in the bum. So such a shame that that's the case. More on the display as well is the fact that this doesn't support S Pen. It's a shame that S Pen is not supported. Although this is not something that I use anymore. I often just use it to sign documents and stuff. Well, I can get over that. But for some people where that's very important, they're going to miss out on having S Pen support on this, which is a bit of a shame. Another thing I really like though is the fact that you can use this one-handed. I know some people have complained I can't use it, but for me, I don't have exactly large hands, but I can still use this one-handed and type away and stuff like that. And also I can even open this one-handed and start using the device, and off you go. Obviously, when you got it in wide formats, you open it up, you can't really use that one-handed. You can try, but it's better used with both hands when you have it fully unfolded. One of the other things is when it comes to this form factor is the fact that the screen is not fully adjusted yet for all kind of different apps. So for example, if I go on Instagram here, and you can see the screen's fine on this screen, as you can see here, it's covered on the whole thing, which is good, which is good, which is good. And then if you then go to TikTok, we then get TikTok here, which then means you get the letterboxing on either side of the screen, which means it's not fully utilizing the whole screen as you might want it to use your whole screen. So if you open it as well, you can see the same thing, big border. And even if you have it in portrait mode like this, you can see that you got this big slab on either side. Perhaps you can use it for other things, I don't know, but it's just something that I would love for them to have taken new advantage of the full screen real estate there. And then back to the, on the main screen here, on this tab here. So if I was to go back to Instagram and I wanna leave a comment on something, you can see what I mean with the keyboard. So the keyboard takes half of the screen there. So again, sometimes you don't see everything that's on the screen. And what I've noticed as well is sometimes on some apps, it takes over what you're actually trying to type on. So if you're in banking app, which I can't show you, for example, where it asks for PIN code, it covers the PIN code layer, so you don't actually see what you type in, which then ends up with you not knowing if you've typed the right thing or not, which is a bit of a shame. So some apps still needs to be optimized for the use of this screen form factor. Another thing is that silicon carbon battery that we have here. Some people say the cycle is not much in terms of being able to charge it over and over and over. So I don't know, time will tell with that one. But I think, again, that's probably not something you're going to worry about just for now. I think this is going to still last a long period of time. Let's talk about the camera, because the camera is another big deal here. I think, you can probably tell it's a smile on my face. I think the camera has been impressive so far in terms of this just being 2 lenses, 50 megapixel, even when you're shooting in the standard 12 megapixel, which is what he standardly shoots in by default. The camera's been good, whether it's low light, whether it's just daylight situation. I think it captures a lot of detail, even when you start to use the zoom. So if I go to the camera interface here, and I'll show you guys exactly what I'm talking about here. So we can, that's my face, we can go ultra wide, so 0.6, we can go 1x and 2x. When you shoot in those range there, you still get really good quality out of the photos, and 4x even delivers decent amount of zoom quality as well. And when you start to go to 10x, this is when you start to notice the shortcomings, but AI then steps in to refine the photos where possible. But most of the time, it's not that good. But when it comes to that 0.6, 1x, 2x, and 4x, I think I've been thoroughly impressed with the quality that I'm getting out of the Z Fold 8. And low lights has been impressive as well, which is great. It doesn't look too over sharpened, which is interesting, which is good in a way. And also the highlights in the light bulbs and stuff like that, it just looks really good at nighttime, which is pretty impressive. Shooting with flash is good as well. Portrait is good as well. Skin tone's been managed very well. So I think the camera is pretty impressive for me. I hope they don't do some funny updates that ruins that, because that happened with my Z Fold 7 where it started off being good, and then over time, I kind of just noticed the quality isn't quite there as the same as when I first got the device. So I think overall, camera quality, really good. You can either shoot log on this, apply LOTS on the device, or post-processing when you go on your laptop and edit it yourself. You can either shoot that on this, which I think is fantastic. Makes it a really good content creator, content capture device that you can just throw everywhere, take it with you all the time. In fact, this makes me so excited for what's to come in the world of foldable devices and this form factor. I think a lot more manufacturers should opt into creating something like this. I think it's just a fantastic looking device, and this lilac color as well. I think it looks good. What do you guys think? But yeah, I think overall really good. Camera quality is good. Battery life is really good as well. It's lasted me more than a day, which is impressive. Charging speed is decent as well. Screen quality is really good, whether you're watching movies, gaming, whatever it is you're doing. Does a really great job at that, and it's just fantastic. I think I really like it. And after this review, I'm putting my case on it, because usually I review them without case just to see how they handle in terms of durability. So screen protector is going to go on it, and a case as well to cover the rest of the device. But yeah, and as for pricing, I would say this is on the pricier side. So it's not for everyone. It's still kind of like a fresh technology, so it's still going to be on the pricier side for a while. But if you're looking between this or the Ultra gives you slightly bigger battery. I think it's like 5,000 mAh battery, and it gives you that bigger, taller screen, and also you get one extra camera, and it's 200 megapixel main camera on there as well. But most people shoot 12 megapixel anyway by default on these devices and don't even realize. So if you were to pick between those two, I think what you need to do is go into store and actually play with this one. Hold it in hand and see how you feel, because I think a lot of people don't understand how good this is until they actually have it in their hands. That's a few days with the Z Fold 8. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you have any questions, drop them there as well. And thanks for watching. See you in the next one.